The Ottoman Empire, a vast and powerful realm, stretched across 3 continents for over 6 centuries. It left an indelible mark on history, shaping the course of trade, culture, and warfare. At the heart of its military might stood the Janissaries, an elite corps of soldiers renowned for their discipline, loyalty, and effectiveness in battle. These were not ordinary soldiers, they were slaves of the Sultan, raised from childhood to serve and protect the Ottoman state. Their story is one of unwavering devotion, remarkable military achievements, and ultimately a tragic fall from grace. The Janissaries were more than just soldiers, they were a symbol of Ottoman power. Their distinctive uniforms, strict discipline, and unwavering loyalty to the Sultan set them apart. Their origins were as unique as their role. Taken from conquered Christian communities as boys, they were converted to Islam and rigorously trained in the art of war. This system, known as the Devshirme, formed the bedrock of the Janissary Corps for centuries. The Devshirme system, meaning gathering or collecting, was the method by which the Ottomans recruited young Christian boys, primarily from the Balkans, to serve in the Janissary Corps. This practice, though seemingly harsh, was rooted in pragmatism and a desire to create a loyal and effective military force. The boys, typically between the ages of 8 and 15, were carefully selected for their physical attributes and potential. They were then separated from their families and taken to Constantinople, the Ottoman capital. The Devshirme system served a dual purpose for the Ottomans. Firstly, it provided a steady stream of manpower for the Janissary Corps, ensuring its ranks remained filled with fresh recruits. Secondly, it served as a means of social mobility for some Christian families. By sending their sons into Ottoman service, they could potentially gain influence and improve their social standing. The boys, upon conversion to Islam, were considered slaves of the Sultan, but they were also granted opportunities for advancement based on merit and ability. This created a powerful incentive for loyalty and dedication to the Ottoman state. Upon arriving in Constantinople, the Devshirme boys embarked on a rigorous and highly regimented training program. This education went far beyond simple military drills. It encompassed every aspect of their lives, shaping them into loyal, disciplined, and highly effective soldiers. They were taught Turkish language and culture, converted to Islam, and instilled with a strong sense of obedience to the Sultan. Their training emphasized physical prowess, weapons handling, and battlefield tactics. The Janissaries were renowned for their strict discipline and esprit de corps. They lived in barracks, trained together, and fought as a cohesive unit. Their loyalty to their comrades and their officers was unwavering. This sense of brotherhood was further strengthened by their unique traditions and customs. They wore distinctive uniforms, including the distinctive white felt caps called bork. They also carried specific weapons, such as the yataghan, a curved sword, and later muskets, becoming some of the first gunpowder troops in Europe. This combination of rigorous training, strict discipline, and unique traditions transformed the Janissaries into a formidable fighting force, feared and respected throughout Europe and the Middle East. The Janissaries were the backbone of the Ottoman army for centuries, playing a pivotal role in its expansion and dominance. Their unwavering discipline, advanced training, and access to the latest military technology made them a formidable force on the battlefield. They were instrumental in numerous Ottoman victories, expanding the empire's borders from the Balkans to the Persian Gulf. Their reputation as fierce and loyal warriors preceded them, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. The Janissaries were among the first military forces to adopt and master the use of gunpowder weapons, particularly muskets. This gave them a significant advantage over their opponents, who were often still reliant on traditional weapons and tactics. Their disciplined volleys of musket fire could decimate enemy formations, while their unwavering courage allowed them to withstand even the most determined charges. Their effectiveness on the battlefield contributed significantly to the Ottoman Empire's rise to prominence as a major military power. Perhaps the most iconic demonstration of Janissary might came in 1453 with the conquest of Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. This monumental event, which marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of Ottoman dominance in the region, showcased the Janissaries' discipline, courage, and tactical prowess. The siege of Constantinople, a heavily fortified city that had withstood numerous attacks for centuries, was a testament to their military capabilities. Under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, the Ottomans laid siege to Constantinople. The Janissaries played a crucial role in this siege, manning the artillery that bombarded the city walls and leading assaults against heavily defended breaches. Their unwavering discipline and courage under fire were instrumental in breaking through the Byzantine defenses. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Europe, marking the beginning of a new era in the region's history. Section 6. Seeds of discontent, power, privilege, and the erosion of discipline. As the Ottoman Empire entered a period of relative peace and stability in the 16th century, the role of the Janissaries began to shift. No longer solely focused on warfare, they became increasingly involved in politics and commerce. This shift, coupled with their privileged position within Ottoman society, sowed the seeds of their eventual decline. The once strict discipline that had been their hallmark began to erode, replaced by a sense of entitlement and a resistance to change. The Janissaries, initially forbidden from marrying or engaging in trade, began to circumvent these restrictions. They accumulated wealth, married, and passed on their privileged status to their sons, who inherited their positions without undergoing the rigorous training and selection process of the Devshirme system. This nepotism led to a decline in the corps' quality and discipline. The Janissaries, once renowned for their austerity and obedience, became increasingly interested in maintaining their privileges and expanding their power, even at the expense of the empire they were sworn to serve. Section 7. The empire stagnates, military decline, and the stubbornness of tradition. By the 17th century, the Ottoman Empire's military superiority began to wane. European powers were rapidly modernizing their armies, adopting new technologies and tactics that the Ottomans, hampered by a conservative military establishment, were slow to embrace. The Janissaries, once at the forefront of military innovation, became resistant to change. They clung to their traditional weapons and tactics, viewing any attempt at modernization as a threat to their status and power. The Janissaries, accustomed to victory and privilege, became a powerful force resistant to any reforms that might diminish their influence. They used their political clout to block attempts to modernize the army, fearing that such changes would undermine their position. This resistance to change had disastrous consequences for the Ottoman Empire, which found itself increasingly unable to compete militarily with its European rivals. The once mighty Ottoman war machine, slowed by corruption, inefficiency, and the Janissaries' stubborn refusal to adapt, began to falter. Section 8. The auspicious incident, a Sultan's Gambit, and the Janissaries' last stand. The tensions between the Ottoman state and the Janissaries finally came to a head in the early 19th century. Sultan Mahmud II, determined to modernize the empire's military and reassert his authority, recognized the threat posed by the Janissaries' entrenched power. In 1826, he orchestrated a cunning plan, known as the Auspicious Incident, to eliminate the Janissary corps once and for all. Mahmud II formed a new modern army, trained and equipped along European lines. He then provoked a Janissary revolt, using their predictable resistance to change against them. When the Janissaries, believing they were invincible, rose up in rebellion, the Sultan unleashed his new army, crushing the revolt with overwhelming force. The Janissaries, caught off guard and outmatched, were massacred, their barracks destroyed, and their organization disbanded. Section 9. Legacy of the Janissaries, a complex story of power, loyalty, and decline. The Janissaries, a product of the Ottoman Empire's unique social and political structure, left a complex and enduring legacy. For centuries, they served as the sword and shield of the empire. Their loyalty and military prowess instrumental in its expansion and dominance. However, their eventual decline serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the importance of adaptation, and the corrosive effects of privilege. The Janissaries' story is a reminder that even the most formidable institutions can succumb to complacency and corruption. Their resistance to change, driven by a desire to preserve their own power and privilege, ultimately contributed to the decline of the empire they were sworn to protect. Their legacy is a complex one, a blend of military achievement, unwavering loyalty, and ultimately a tragic fall from grace. They remain a subject of fascination for historians and a reminder of the ever-changing dynamics of power, loyalty, and the challenges of maintaining a lasting legacy.